If you want to get to know me, keep watching this video. And if you don't, you a hater. Bye. So I don't really have any kind of bubbly YouTube-y introduction yet, but you are more than welcome to my channel. Okay, so let's first of all get into the fact that I realized I was rambling this entire video and I did not mention my name or my age. It's not a secret. I'm Kelsey. I'm 28 years of age, and I promise I'm gonna do better, y'all. But let's get back to these questions so y'all can get to know me. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so first question is, where are you from? I'm from the south side of Chicago, born and raised. I've been here my whole life, and I felt the need to buy property here because it really is the best city in the world for so many reasons. There's a lot that people could say about Chicago, but we still the best. Mwah. And to everybody that moved out of Chicago, I respect it. But you know that food is nasty. What I do for work, what I do for a living. I'm a copywriter. I've mostly written for like advertising agencies, which is what I currently work for now. But I just be writing all the time. I used to freelance and like write on the side even before when I used to work at hospitals. I would ghost write novels for different authors. Like I'm able to just like put words on paper and make them sound really nice. I'm pretty persuasive and I'm good with telling stories. So that kind of like goes into the next question now. Basically, it was my academic path and my natural gift of writing, which kind of led me to what I do today. I got a bachelor's degree in communications, and then my master's of science was in global strategic communication. It kind of like overlaps with marketing, public relations. But I took the creative writing route as a writer because I just always been good at it. My mother found out that I lost my virginity through my diary, through how I wrote it. But I did not get in trouble because I was a good ass writer. She was just like, wow, you great at writing, but you going on birth control. Anyway, writing has always been my strength. Writing has gotten me into schools, gotten me into jobs, gotten me into internships, gotten me into opportunities, gotten me out of ass whoopings, gotten me into study abroad programs. Girl, I just been writing my whole life. Like if you see my journal like that, it could probably be like a best-selling novel, but like I'm not ready for the world to know about all of that. Eventually, I want to write a novel. You know, I feel like I'm in the middle of a chapter, but say if I turn 30, like I'm definitely writing a book about my 20s and you know how young women should and should not navigate their 20s. But yeah, I'm a writer, period. Travel. That's gonna be a video in itself. That's actually gonna be a lot of videos. So the list of places that I've been is constantly growing, and as far as countries, I think I'm at number 17 so far. And I've just started really traveling internationally, I wanna say about 5 years ago. So the time for me to like tell the story about my travels is long overdue. So I definitely got a lot more to say about that in the future. So there's like 3 main factors. So first of all, I've always traveled growing up by plane. My dad was in the military, so I was flying as an unaccompanied minor for, I think I was 6. That was the first time like I flew on a plane by myself, and it was just so funny because everybody around me was crying except me. So my parents were emotional about all of that. The more like I got the hang of like traveling by myself as an unaccompanied minor, like as a child, the other kids would be crying and I'm just like, girl, like why are you crying? Like here's some crayons. You know, so I'd be sharing my crayons and my chips and stuff. Like it's gonna be okay, like it's nothing to cry about, like we just going to a different place. Where are you from? Girl, I wasn't worried about what was going on. Like I was just, you know, excited to see my dad. And he kind of inspired like my traveling journey as well. Like with him being in the military, he was always sending me something back from another country, whether it was a form of currency or a lot of books that he would get from Asian countries or Middle Eastern countries. He would send those back to me. So my coloring books were in a different language, and they were read it from right to left, or you know, left to right. My toys, like, you know, you would play the sound on like a toy or a stuffed animal and it would be like in Arabic. The other like huge factor that really heightened my desire to travel was the study abroad program that I did my last year of obtaining my bachelor's degree. My college journey was a little weird. Like I wasn't 100% focused, like going in like those first 2 years. Like I almost flunked out before I dropped out. When I did go back in my ultimate goal wasn't to do anything else but see a different country, you know, while I was still broke, and kind of make it a part of my tuition so it could be covered by my scholarship. I came across this program called Semester at Sea, and honestly, like, I thought it was fake, because like it said like you travel to a minimum of like 10 to 12 countries over the course of one semester. So within 4 months you will be seeing 12 countries, and you'll be studying all of them, and you will be studying on a ship with about 300 to 500 other students, staff, and faculty. You enroll as you would in like a typical accredited semester, and you take these classes while you're on the ship, and then when you land to different ports, which are in these different countries, you would have like a field class or field activity or something that you had to do, write a report or something about whatever the experience was that you had in that country. So that whole experience changed my life, and I want to make a separate video about that because there's just so much that went into it. All of the countries that I went to see were Japan, China, Hong Kong, India, Vietnam, Myanmar, Mauritius, Morocco, South Africa, Ghana, and the Netherlands. I made just so many like connections and friends, and just met so many people. And that's why I want to make like separate videos about that, like about the like local friends and that I made in a lot of those places, all of the beautiful things that I experienced throughout that program while still, you know, learning at the same time. Every experience wasn't good. Like sometimes like I did get sick, like my body just, you know, didn't want to adjust or receive, you know, certain food, and it wasn't like I could just run back to Chicago and just get something that was familiar, or just run back and just get some Flamin' Hots and cheese or something like that. Like I had to fully immerse myself in all of these places and just keep going to the next place and the next place. Even like my body clock was off, and I just gotta talk about that in another video, but it was amazing. So that's really what became like the factor to get me into traveling. And once I graduated and I got a big girl salary, I'm like, this ain't the end, you know, we still got places to see, baby. Yeah, like the journey just kind of continued from there, really. I really just can't pick one for a lot of reasons. I want to say Vietnam. I know nobody was really expecting me to say that, but I feel like Vietnam is really slept on. Ha Long Bay is like their Miami, and at some point I definitely want to go back. I want to say Bahamas too. Bahamas is gorgeous. If you know me like personally, there's just so much more I could say about Bahamas that it just needs to be its own separate video. I am not gonna get into all of that right now, but when I make a video about whether you should date somebody that you met on vacation or date somebody that you met in the Caribbean, period, y'all gonna know. If you know, you know, but I'll still keep it at the top of my list. Greece was like heaven, and Greece was on my bucket list. It was not an educational trip, it was just a vacation where I just felt like the baddest bitch, and that's all that I needed. Each island itself had its own vibe. I was in Athens, I was in Naxos, I was in Paros, and I was in Santorini. My only regret was not going to Mykonos. I just wish I could have stayed longer, baby. Girl, you got a place in my heart. I would definitely be back. Hot sauce. That's not a food, but that's my favorite food. Anything that I could put hot sauce on. If it goes with hot sauce, I like it. Dream girls. I basically am inspired by everybody that I watched growing up that was in my life. You know, like my mom, her being educated, double degreed, you know, super nerd, but super stylish and gorgeous. All of that is from her. My dad always traveling to different countries. And then I have an uncle who brought his first home in his 20s, and it wasn't a traditional single family home. He bought a unit of a condominium, which is eventually what I, you know, recently did last year. So I was exposed to, you know, traveling and being a young homeowner, you know, pursuing my master's degree and pursuing so many goals because I was exposed to that, you know, as a child, and watching that growing up gave me an idea of what I would want for my life. I have 6 other siblings and I'm the oldest, and both sides of my family, they are big, so I do not come from a small family at all. So this is another question from my Instagram. This is a good one. Y'all got some good questions. So like if you know me personally, you know I ran track all throughout high school and a little bit of college. I think it was just a chapter that showed me that I can be amazing at anything that I put my mind to, because I did not start out as a strong runner at all. Like anybody who knows that story, like I couldn't even finish an entire lap around the track before the 400 became my race. So that was just like a coming of age chapter. I feel like once I kind of got like halfway into college and I wasn't focused, it was just time to close that chapter and really apply myself academically before I flunked out. But once I did change my academic path and I dedicated that to studying abroad and graduating, I just didn't return back to it. But I still be watching the girlies and I still be watching the meets. Shout out to Miss Sha'Carri. You were always that girl and you always gonna be that girl. I still love track. Try me and I will get on the track. Don't play with it. My toxic trait is I put myself first. I'm laughing because it's a blessing and a curse. The reason why I call it toxic is because I know a lot of people would say that that's selfish, but y'all have to understand, I do not have no kids. Like, I'm allowed to do this, and it's gotten me very far in life, is putting myself first. Like that trait that a lot of you know, this is no shade to anybody as a young woman, because we learn, you know, there's so much that we have to learn growing up as young women, but that trait that a lot of women have to put their goals behind them and put somebody else in front of that, whether it's like a man or, you know, somebody else's opinion or something like that. I naturally never had that. A lot of the altercations and issues that I had growing up as a child were because like I didn't really listen to what nobody was saying. And as a child, that could be toxic because you don't know everything, but as an adult, it has helped me in a lot of ways. In some cases, you do want to look out for what other people are going through and, you know, be empathetic and be considerate. And I had to learn that, I'm not gonna lie. Chic, adventurous, goal-oriented. I'm really the type to try anything once. Stop being nasty. YouTube is a PG app, so stop. Okay, even though I do have some story times for y'all later of stuff that I tried, let's draw our minds back in. But yeah, like any food, trip, job, haircut, hairstyle, like I just be trying stuff. Sometimes it work out, sometimes it doesn't, but like I just be trying anything. I'm not scared of nothing. I don't play by my goals. Like all jokes aside, if it's already written down and organized in my diary, it's gonna happen. I could wait. I got places to be and things to see. Jealous people. And I ain't trying to say that like I'm no scary ass bitch, but I think it's very important to be very alert and very aware of people that want to be in your life but don't really like you. I feel like jealous people are capable of anything. You know, just the fact that you want to be so close to someone but you secretly resent them. As confusing as it is on why that person is even in your life.
Paul, why is you here?
Get away from them people, for real. Protect yourself. That is scary. That's creepy. I don't want no parts. Get your passport. Why do you not have a passport? Compete against yourself. Do not compete against anyone else. You will be amazed at the heights you could reach and the goals that you could see if you just stop looking at what else is around you and just focus on competing against yourself. And if you run track, like you real ones know, like the competition is not really about whoever is next to you or who you're about to see in that race or who you're about to see on the track. The actual race is against yourself. It's against whatever you did before. You're not doing anything in your life to prove a point to someone. All the goals that you have, just let them be genuine, and it's okay to be inspired, but make sure your goals are specifically your own. Compete against yourself, but you're gonna win every time. And that concludes my Get to Know Me tag. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in my next video.